Good morning, friends. So this is going to be a little different, and I'm hoping that uh, it will be helpful to you. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
We kind of I changed my desk around. I do a lot of sewing, like I do on my clothes and stuff, and the way I had my desk organized was a little wonky. So my husband indulged me and removed one of the legs from the corner, and yeah, you can come in
No,
right
I did
there.
great.
Yeah,
What are you
see,
talking about today?
we're going to talk about the American Solidarity Party
The socialists.
and the okay,
I'm a big advocate of read the platforms,
yes,
please.
yes,
Go to their website and read their platform. Same with the DNC. Go to the DNC website, read the platform. Go to the RNC, read the platform. Okay? You're not voting for one catchphrase. You're voting for the platform.
and here's the why I would even bother. Okay, I
They're
know that.
anti-baby killing.
Yeah,
That,
right. And
that's a
so,
big one. Mm-hmm.
and here's the thing. I know this one professor that I really, really enjoy her lectures that she does. She's got this series about the Old Testament, and she's working on a commentary, which I am really looking forward to reading when it comes out. I read one of her books. The other one I have ready for me to read when I'm done researching Jesus' Jewish background and all that. Although now I'm sidetracked reading something else here for a minute called, and I will do a book review on that. Tangents. All that to say is, I trust um, her biblical knowledge. Okay. Having said that, uh, one thing that I do the scripture does is it tells you and it shows you to be accountable and to have personal responsibility for the things that you do say and the things that you vote for. Now she made a comment on the twitters that said something about what if we didn't have to compromise between the baby killer. Well, she didn't say it in those way, I'm paraphrasing. She's very much too polite for that. The baby killer and the philanderer. Okay, and my thing was like there's no other choices, and then she kind of showed this, no, here's the solidarity American Solidarity Party. And the one thing I will tell you that I feel it shows is her heart. Okay, and it's a good one. She's got compassion in her heart for the people that need it the most, and all of that. But mercy and compassion needs to be applied equally to everybody, okay? Or is not mercy or compassion, but is, um, what would you call it? Preference. It's favoritism, okay? So, um, we live in a republic, not a democrat, a democracy. And one of the ways that this country moves forward is called capitalism, and it's worked just fine so far as long as the capitalism is allowed to do its own thing. Okay, so what we got now is, people have been inflating the economy superficially with money that was not backed by gold. And since we left the gold standard, things have gone a little crazy. But I want to talk to you, and let's look at put our biblical eyeballs, and that's why I wanted to show you this. Let's put our biblical eyeballs together and go through this people's platform. Now, she looked at it and I asked her, I said, this, first of all, the gentleman is Catholic. And yeah, we had somebody mentioned on Twitter, yeah, Kennedy was a Catholic. Right. And he was also a philanderer and all these other things. So that Catholic, being a Catholic means nothing, but it does mean something to some of the Christians that I have known and met that would never vote for a Catholic because he's Catholic, right? There's a disagreement on that, and actually, the book I'm reading from Peter Lightheart has a lot to talk about that and another thing. But let me bring up their platform so that, and maybe this is something you should do with all the candidates. If you are on the fence about Kamala Harris, and you're on the fence about uh, um, Donald Trump, who you let's talk about that, because this is something you should do for all of them. But the the reason I caution on this one is because I've seen a lot of people going like, yeah, oh wow, that sounds good, yeah, we don't have to compromise anything. But if you know the world right now, and know the word spoiler, these people are spoilers, okay? And they could unintentionally bring forth the nomination of Kamala Harris, the presidency of Kamala Harris. Okay, so be
Yeah.
aware of that. So let me bring the screen in, and we'll read together. This is always much more fun. Hi, baby girl. She wants attention. You got food over there. Go eat, mama. Okay, hang on. Okay, friends, here we have it. Is the American Solidarity Party. The name should already give you pause on who they are. Okay, it sounds okay. I'm not saying it is. It sounds very radical right off the bat. But with everything else, you don't judge a book by its cover. You go in and look at everything they do, the entire platform. And here's something that I already agree with them. Okay, human life is sacred from conception to natural death. We thus oppose abortion, euthanasia, and direct and intentional attacks of innocent human life. We oppose the death penalty as a necessary measure to protect human life. Well, let me tell you, if you read your Old Testament, okay, and we still believe that God's law applied to us, we don't really get to abolish the death penalty. Okay, and the other thing, one thing that was brought really into my mind the last time we talked, we did a video with my husband. Doug Wilson had a debate with this young man, Russell, from Abolitionist Rising. Okay, and what sounded to us was, okay, Mama, you gotta move. What sounded to us was more like the compromising of a spiritual leader, Doug Wilson, regarding abortion, right? Something the abolitionists versus the incrementalists. Okay, here's the problem with this particular statement. They human life is sacred. Yes, I agree with that. From conception, I agree with that. To natural death. See, you gotta read between the lines, okay? If you're pro death penalty, that's an issue, because some people, I believe, deserve to be put to death and not breathe the God's air anymore. Pedophiles, okay? I'm okay with that. Certain rapists, and there's all kinds of issues where places and situations where I think that giving them one extra breath is unnecessary. Okay, so if you, yes, sounds good, but the Bible actually gave the death penalty to certain crimes and certain things that they did. Okay, and again, abortion, we oppose abortion, right? But where is the penalty for the people performing the abortions? What's that going to do? How is that going to happen? Are you pro punishing the woman for murdering her own child? God did that. I would suggest that you go watch. I'll link that debate down here, and watch Doug Wilson and Russell wrestle this one out, and realizing that we have been subverting justice. We have been subverting the law of God in favor of what we call mercy. Okay? Now, This should be, if you're a Republican or conservative, this should ring bells right off the bat. Social justice. We affirm a special collective responsibility to the most vulnerable members of society and call for societal structures that uphold the equal value of dignity in each person, regardless of any personal characteristics. What the heck does that even mean? Okay, so what they either saying is that the rich need to take care of the poor, right? And let me tell you, you have no right to tell anybody how generous to be with their money. Okay? Those are the gifts of God to them. And they will have to answer for however they manage that wealth to the God of the universe. Okay? But in a culture where there is redistribution of wealth, okay, we are no longer in a democracy. There's certainly not a republic or capitalism. We are in socialism or communism. Okay. Now, this require efforts to address systematic and historic injustices. Oh, Black Lives Matter. Anybody? Okay. Including long-standing racial injustice. Black Lives Matter. Okay, friends, come on. In a way that confronts inequalities that disparage innate personal dignity. There's no such thing in this country. You and I and every African American person and anybody in this world, in this country, has the right. We all have the same rights: the right to vote, the right to free speech, the right of everything else. If nothing else, it is these people that are trying to stop us from having free speech. Okay, we have there is nothing I can't do that a person of color cannot do. I'm a Mexican woman. I have every right my husband has. And I have a lot of more privileges probably sometimes than he does.
Yes, you
In
do.
the sense because I'm a woman, I get to have my own personal spaces, which have been invaded by people that call themselves women.
Yeah,
Okay,
men
so yeah,
dressing drag.
yeah. So yes, everybody has dignity. Okay, but when you come in and think that you can force someone to give someone else dignity, you're coming about it the wrong way. Okay. Now, Abraham was rich. Jacob, all those people had lots of herds and all of that. You didn't hear God making them redistribute their wealth, did you? I mean, I'm no Old Testament scholar, like I said before in a tweet, but let's look at the examples that we have in the Bible. Okay. Now, Solomon didn't have to redistribute his wealth. Okay. He paid people to do what he did and things like that. But there was no redistribution of wealth. Now there are consequences for behaving in such a way, but you're actually trying to force people into giving more than they want. Okay? Now it says community oriented society. It's communism, friends. But let's analyze it, okay? Humans are created to live in communities. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And the proper organization of our communities is necessary for the flourishing of our society. What does that even mean? The proper organization of communities is flourishing our society. Society consists of various institutions and communities like families, government, and religious groups, whose primary authority over their own affairs should be respected and defended. Higher levels of government should serve the power, the support lower levels of authority rather than replace them. We already have that, right? Isn't every state entitled to do whatever they want as long as their law is not less but more
If
than
it's
what?
not mentioned in the Constitution,
Uh-huh.
it's a matter that belongs in the states.
That's
That's
right.
written in the Constitution.
We already have that.
Every state can make a more stringent rule than the federal government, but it can't be less.
Okay. So we already have that, friends.
Yes.
No, centrality of the family, natural marriage and the family are the central institutions of society and must be supported and strengthened, not undermined. I can agree with that. As the family provides for the nurturing of children, it is the imperative of the state to advance the well being of families while respecting the duty of family members for fulfill the roles freely. As the family provides the nurturing of children, it is the imperative to advance the well being of all families. How so? How so? By giving families with children more benefits than to couples that don't have children? Does that sound fair and equitable? Just because a person or you know, people, there's this trend that will happen not that long ago called dinks, dual income, no children, no kids, and people were dragging on them. But I have to tell you, if the dinks don't want to have children, by all means, please don't. Okay, but that does not mean that certain benefits should be denied them. Okay, but they should be applied to me and my family. Okay, I feel like we all need to have the same equal rights, as they say before. But when you're starting to make divisions right here between your families with no children and families with children, well, what are we talking about? Let's talk about that specifically. The state, and then five, this says the state and subsidiary organizations must act to remedy economic injustice by creating conditions for widespread ownership of property and production. No, no, that again is communism. And okay, when the state puts itself in charge of redistributing wealth, the state always comes out on top. The people that have the money, the people that are in charge of the program, always come out on top, because the underlying assumption about promoting someone like this, okay, promoting a party like this, is that you think that this person is an honorable, godly Christian Catholic, and so is the vice president nominee with him. Okay, I don't know this person in real life. I don't know how he treats his children. I don't know how he treats his wife. I don't know how he treats his pets. I don't know his prayer in life. I don't know what he believes regarding the Bible in full. Okay. I don't know his spirit or his soul. But none of this is binding, legally binding. And every point can be misinterpreted to do whatever they want. Okay, not that the people that are in power are any different. If nothing else, that should be an example to you that these people are politicians first. Okay, okay, and so this sounds like redistribution of wealth. Okay, and then personal, cooperative, and social ownership of a balanced and just society. Oh boy. Workers' rights and family wage must be ensured. We have that. We have that now. They made it so that the minimum wage in California is $20 an hour, and therefore it costs my family $60. My family probably, yeah, no, no, yeah, over $100 to eat at McDonald's. That's what that gets you, friends. That's what that gets you. $120 for one person to eat at McDonald's. Yeah, fair wages, workers' right to family wage, please.
The higher
So
the wages go, the more expensive stuff gets. So you're
this,
not getting a raise.
yeah, this sounds more like something Kamala Harris would put out, except for they put the against abortion thing in the very beginning, so that you can kind of buy into the, oh yeah, yeah, this is a Christian platform. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. This might, if you can just get rid of that, you will end up with, in the family thing, you'll end up with, this sounds more like a Kamala thing, honestly. Okay, so that's that. Let's do one more. No, two more. Let's finish those. It says care for the environment, global warming. Okay, I'm translating for you. Cultivation and good stewardship ought to characterize the relationship between humanity and creation. What? The earth and its fruits are universally destined for the benefit of all people. I agree. But government and civil society have a responsibility to protect natural resources now and for future generations. You might have rephrased it, but you're again the Green New Deal. Yes, sir. Okay. And then seven, peace and international solidarity. Peace is the fruit of justice and requires solidarity among peoples and nations. You better get along or else. You hear that? Aid and trade policies must advance justice, sustainability, and human flourishing. Diplomatic and nonviolent means resolution must be exhausted before violent means can be considered. Military action must strictly adhere to just war principles. What are the just war principles? Right. I gotta go check my bacon. We'll come back in a second. Wait. Okay. So, uh, bacon is in the oven and I'm just kind of working on it. So, friends, uh, I was told the reason I'm talking about it is because I was told that it was a very biblical uh, platform, and it really isn't. And you really want to. So they have further details, right? Obviously, and this is where you need to read it. Okay. Let's read this one. This is one of those that are really crucial for our democracy, the republic, whatever, however you want to call it. But it says, the American Solidarity Party recognizes that firearms are uniquely effective tools for both legitimate uses such as hunting and personal protection, and illegitimate uses such as criminal homicide and suicide. Okay, notice how they're phrasing this. Their equalities without the equality between. They're saying firearms are both good and bad in the same sentence. Okay. We also acknowledge that our country has both a long history of private firearm ownership and current problem of gun violence, and that the root cause of such violence go deeper. I agree with that. Then access to firearms. We believe that regulation and policies surrounding firearms must be evidence-based and balanced in the interest of the public safety and individual rights. We already have firearm rules. If you have ever purchased a gun, you know you have to go to a background check. And you know that they have all these rules about who and how they can own a firearm. The problem is not that the legal law abiding citizens like me, my husband, and my children have guns. We use them safely, responsibly for sport, for hunting, for whatever we want to use them for in a legal manner. You need to find out how these people think that they're going to take the guns away from the bad guys, not the good guys. That should not even not be an option. Okay. And I'll tell you one thing about firearms in the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment gives your First Amendment protected. Okay. The ability to bear arms keeps your First Amendment protected. Okay, we support strengthening the national instant criminal background check by fully funding it and extending its capacity to process all background checks requested within a 72-hour period. My husband can walk into a store in Texas and have a background checked within 30 minutes. Okay? Why 72 hours? There's no need for that. That just tells me they probably don't understand how that works. Okay? State and federal agencies must also report all relevant information to the NIECS in a timely manner. This sounds a little too much like Big Brother, but we support the standardization of criminal definitions across federal and state agencies to prevent misrepresented information to NICS. I don't like the sound of that. We call for state and that's just my personal opinion, okay? We call for states to offer free classes in safe firearm handling and storage and to make them widely available to all residents. This includes age appropriate firearm safety education in public schools. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, this is crucial, friends. Firearm safety, just like sex ed, moral values, all of that has to be taught at home. Do not farm out the education of your children. Okay? My husband has taught firearm safety to all our children, and I would trust no one else to teach my children firearm safety. And if you're a wife out there that has kids that know how to use a firearm, your husband, like me, we would use firearms, are you going to trust just anybody that? Because it's really really important. Okay, not only it's up there with sex ed and all the other things. Okay, and the problem we have now is that the public schools are not public schools, friends. They're state schools, they're federal schools, they're government schools, so that they can teach them what they want in their own context. So no, we support mass issue legislation for concealed carry permits. We don't need that anymore because slowly every state is going to what my constitutional carry. You don't need a carry permit in order to have a gun. Okay, so let's say change the legislature that says that in every state that wants it, that every state can do whatever they want with their constituents, right, that they have voted for. In our case in Texas, we are allowed to do what is called con- constitutional carry. Some states don't. That's part of the American government system, where the state gets to decide for its citizens that live in that state the rules for that state. Okay, now California, they allow abortion, they allow up to whatever. Okay, so they live in that state, and people will flock to that state that are okay with those values. And so yeah, dictating, this is where you start dictating what you want to all the other states. Okay, we support 72-hour waiting period for handgun purchases. I don't know, right there. It's definitely a no for probably a whole bunch of Texans. Okay, uh, education. Let's take a quick look at this one. We acknowledge that responsibility for the education of the children resides primarily in the family. I can agree with that, but what did they just say up here with the firearms? That the state needs to educate them about safety in the schools. See, that's a contradiction. Okay, families should be free to choose between homeschooling their children or sending them to public or private schools so as to best provide for their future. In order to achieve this, we call direct payment to families to best support their needs, with special funding available for families with children who have disabilities. Let me tell you what, no thank you. Now, we homeschool our children, okay? They when the whole COVID craziness started, I we pull our children in the state of Texas. You have a lot of freedom to homeschool your children however you see fit. It just has to have a certain uh, there's a certain small rules. What they're saying here is that they will provide you with funds or what did she say? Children sending the direct payments to families to best support their needs. With payment or with money always comes strings attached. Or you're homeschooling your kids. Well, let's see what else you got. This is where government interferes with your life. Uh, what are you teaching your kids in your homeschool? Hmm? There's regulation that comes with any kind of money that comes into your homeschool system. Would I be nice for me to have some money extra to pay for the software and the books and all the other things that we do for our kids? That would be nice. But my answer to all this, no thank you. Every time the government gives you money in any capacity, it comes with strings attached. Okay? It support community schools, which are local, human scale, well integrated into the neighborhoods. And all of this, guys, is expensive. Where is that money going to come from? Oh, yes, the redistribution of wealth. It's called communism, socialism, Marxism, all the isms. I got to check my paper one more time, and then we'll come back and I'll finish on this. And I'll give you my final thoughts. You can take them for or leave them. So, normally it is my husband's channel where we comment on political issues and things like that, and day-to-day things. We try to reserve this channel uh, that has been revamped from previous versions for us to speak on the Bible and scriptural things and things like that. But why do I then felt the need to do that here? Because I have seen someone that I respect a lot and I think are smart people, well educated, intelligent human being that put this out there as an option for voters in the United States. And from what I can see, her heart is in the right place. She wants mercy and justice for all. But these people are not that. Okay, their platform is a communist socialist platform that's actually going to be taking away a lot of your rights if they were to ever get in power. Uh, I never heard of them before until she mentioned them, and that is a problem. And I tell you what, why am I here? I watched Doug Wilson and Russell from Abolitionist Rise speak on abortion, and I watched Doug Wilson dance around the issue of abortion in a way that I was awestruck, um, not in a good way. But one thing that Russell said, he's all for the abolition of abortion and punishment of both women and both the doctors and anybody that participates, including the woman, of punishment of abortion for participating in an abortion. Doug Wilson danced around it, and the arguments that Russell presented were biblical all the way through. Okay, and one thing that he said was he was frustrated because of the wishy-washy, mamby-pamby. He didn't say that. That's my words. He was very polite. Way that some pastors have in addressing issues that are very important today, and people with big platforms feel they can just support this and that, and they don't understand the consequences of what they support because people are lazy. I'm sorry, friends, but we are. I can be too. Regarding investigating and reading and finding out the information regarding what XYZ person in the world with as many followers as 1,000 or as little as or as much as 1 million followers. They say they take that as the true word, the gospel. Okay, and they will forego their own opinion and investigation for the opinion of someone they trust and believe. And so I have a problem with that. Someone that just supports this kind of platform, this kind of party or whatever, she's got issues in the sense that she she well, let me just leave it at this. uh I'm trying to be polite and kind on this stuff. It's not always my, because I get impatient, and that's it. That's it. I'm impatient with people that are in a position of influence, like she is, like many are, that promote anything kind of anything like this, any party, anything. They promote all of this stuff without actually bothering to look at the historical value of this, whether this person would help everybody in this country. And what I want to caution you, friends, is don't take anybody's opinion. If someone out there that you trust, that's just it. It's because they are so educated that you think, okay, well, they must know. And what I've come to understand, they don't. Okay, they are just as uninformed as the next one, because they only know what they see in their circle, and they are living in an echo chamber, because she's a professor in a well-known university. She's so smart, and what I'm thinking is, when is the last time she heard someone other than the people on Twitter, which you expect them to be a little ugly about things? When is the last time she heard real pushback from anybody in her circle? I don't think she'll ever watch this, but I hope that this is a warning for you, my friends, to listen to anybody out there. Do your own research, do your own reading, and then vote your way the way you want to vote. That's fine with me. That's one of the rights that we have in this country. But always have your Bible in hand. And when someone tells you, yeah, they're very biblical, they're not. Friends, they're not. God does not advocate in the Bible for redistribution of wealth, which is what they're advocating for. God advocates for hard work, personal responsibility, and then God will provide the means to further the kingdom. Okay? But if you're working hard and you're personally responsible for the things that you do, it's already a winning combination no matter what, even if you're not a believer. All right? Um, that's all I got for you guys today. It was long-winded and all of that, and I tend to do that. And I hope this serves you in some way, and that maybe if you never read the Democratic Party's platform, take a few minutes to read it and compare it to what you know of Scripture. Take the Republicans' platform and read it too, Donald Trump's, whatever, and really you will see that, and hopefully it will open your eyes. Okay, God bless. You guys have a beautiful day. Bye bye.